So we have completed 7 topics. Actually, the 7th one, Atma Prakasha, we have done it. Today we are going to start with the Inburu Nilai, which is the nature of supreme bliss. We are left with actually 3 more headings, which means 30 poems. So let me try to complete this 30 by today and tomorrow, maybe some 15 songs, so that we'll be completing this book by your vacation time. We'll be completing this. The nature of supreme bliss, which is something the moksha or the mukti we call. In Saiva Siddhanta, the mukti is called, described as 2 parts actually. One, we are getting away from Anavamala, that is part 1. That alone is not mukti, because whatever the despair we have experienced so far is basically from Anavamala. But that doesn't mean that evil of that Anavamala getting removed from us alone is a solution. No, that's the first part. And the second one is attaining Lord Shiva's feet. So there are 2 stages: removal of Anavamala, reaching Lord Shiva's feet. But how it happens? It happens simultaneously, which means by the time we are getting rid of Anavamalam, we are reaching Lord Shiva's feet. So in Tamil we call it as Pasa Neekamum Sivaperum. In Sivanyana Bodham, the 10th sutra describes about this Pasa Neekam, which is removal of Anavamala. And the 11th one speaks about Lord Shiva's, reaching Lord Shiva's feet, which is called Sivaperu. Now in these 10 songs, he gives very fundamental idea about this bliss, how it's being. The 71st song. Inburuvar Tunbar Irulim Elim Shudarin Pin Buhuvar Mun Buhuvar Pin. Inburuvar, though they will become happy or contented. Tunbar Irulin and Buhuvar. So far, Tunba means the despairs caused by this Anavamala. Tunbar Irulin means so far, all along. First, we are getting rid of it. So what we should say, Elin Chudarin Pin Buhuvar, which means Elin Chudar is a light. Let us just keep the grace, divine grace, or Thiruvarul as the light in front of us. We are following it, so that the darkness of Anavamala is at our back. So in Buruva, they become happy. Those who are able to keep the divine grace at the front and they are able to follow, they are happy. That's the moksha, he says. Even in Upper Swamigal Devaram, he says, Pododu neer sumandeti puhuvar our pin puhuven. That is at Thiruvayar, the last of Upper Swamigal. He says, Podu means flower. Pododu neer sumandeti. Those who are carrying flower and water to wish Lord Shiva. Let those senior people go. I'll just follow them. He says, he is a senior most, but he says, they are all the big adiyas. Let them go. I'll just follow them. This simplicity comes once you get out of this Anavamala. So that's what he says. In Buruvar, Tunbar Irulin Mun. Now Elinjudarin Pin, so Puhuar Pin. So keeping the divine grace or Thiruvarul, the light in front of us, and we just to follow. It takes to Lord Shiva's feet. He who places his self behind the light of the truth, arising out of the darkness, attains bliss. He who places his self before it endures pain. That's what. One is able to put light in front of us, he enjoys. Once he is putting himself in front of light, then actually he is getting into the darkness, which is the painful for him. The next song, he says, all along we have been speaking about this divine grace or Thiruvarul. This book itself speaks about Thiruvarutpayan. The nuances we should understand is, Thiruvarul is actually power of Lord Shiva. So in Tamil we call it as Sakti or even Karuna. Karuna is grace. Thiruvarul, all are of the same meaning, which means these are all the power of Lord Shiva. Even in temple, we have Shiva and Shakti. Shakti is the form of Shiva, fully in the form of grace. So it is like father, mother. Father is the person who runs the family, but mother is the person actually is full of affection. So in many cases, the approach father through mother, that's how it is. Mother takes care of all our needs, but it comes from father. This is how the setup of Lord Shiva and Shakti. Here he says, all along we have been speaking about this mother. Actually, Lord Shiva, we are not talking much. We are speaking about Thiruvarul, grace. That's what we are speaking again and again. Now at the moksha stage, he says, Thiruvarul or the Shakti helps us to reach Lord Shiva. Without the help of divine grace, we cannot reach Lord Shiva. Normally, in other Shastras, they quote an example. Lord Shiva is like sun, and the rays coming from sun, the light rays, it is actually divine grace. So if you want to see the sun, to locate where it is, you cannot do it with a torchlight or this thing. You should just to follow that light rays, then it will show where the sun is. So which means we can reach Shiva only through his Shakti or the divine blessings. Now he says, all along we have been speaking about Thiruvarul, to keep the divine grace in front of us, all it's okay. But he says, just reaching Thiruvarul is not moksha. One more step is there. That he is explaining. Iruvar madandayarukku enbayan, inbundam oruvan oruthi urin. He describes the soul as a female, just as for an example. And he also describes divine grace as female. Why these both are described as female? There is a reason behind. Soul is described as female because in our Indian culture, the female actually right from childhood days, they are dependent on father. After marriage, dependent on husband. Maybe after the old age, even husband passes out. They are dependent on Lord Shiva or the God. So which means female is a character in our system that is always dependent on some male. So that's how the soul is described as a female, because soul either has connection with Anavamala or it has connection with Lord, which means soul never doesn't stand alone. That we have already studied. Soul cannot actually stand alone. In the Kevala stage, it is completely with Anavamala. Now in the Sagala stage, it's with Anavamala, Maya, Karma, everything. And on the Mukti or the Moksha stage, it will be fully with the Shiva. So which means soul cannot be an individual. It cannot stand unique. Like the female in our system, always depend on male. Soul is also something always depend on something. So soul is described as a female here. Same way, the divine blessing is also described as a female because Lord Shiva is the person and it is his Shakti, this divine blessings. So this is actually female of Lord Shiva's form. So these both are called as female. Just an example he has quoted. Soul as a female, Thiruvarul or divine grace as a female. And he says, actually the happiness comes. A male and female joining together is happiness. It is not the female and female joining, which means he says, soul reaching out to divine grace is not the ultimate happiness. It is there one more, which means Lord Shiva is there. It has to reach Lord Shiva and attain the full happiness. That's what the point is. So he just says an example like two ladies joining cannot give a happiness. It should be a male and female. That's what the happiness, which means the male here he is going to say is Lord Shiva. The next song he puts that and he creates another doubt and clears it here. Inbadana எய்துவார்க்கு ஈயும் அவர்க்கு உருவம் இன்பகனம் ஆதலினாலில். Sorry, this is 72 song. He just translates James Nelson Pillai. How can two women attain pleasure? Pleasure is derived in the mutual love of man and woman. That's what the point is. Now, so here the man who is coming to the picture is Lord Shiva. So soul as a female. So male and female joining together, it's an object pleasure. So that's what he says. But then there is a problem comes in the world, normal world. If man and woman joins together, they achieve pleasure means it is actually both are enjoying. Man as well as woman, both will be happy with that association. So if I put that example, then the problem is, so soul and Lord Shiva joining together means both are achieving happiness. So Lord Shiva is also having some happiness. That's the reason he is giving mukti or moksha. Like that, the question will come. He clears it here. Inbadanai yeiduvarku yeyum. Inbadanai means that happiness, whom they are approaching Lord Shiva, he gives that happiness. Yeiduvarku, one who approaches Shiva, he gives the happiness. Our kurvam inbaganam. He himself is just as a full of happiness. So all in all, for him it is nothing special. Because on the 8 characters what we have studied about Lord Shiva, the last one we call it as Inbame Vadivanavan, which means he as a character or he as a substance is full of happiness. So there is no separate. We achieve happiness because we actually experience some despair also. So we need to go to the shelter because we are under the scorching sun many times. We are achieving a lot of difficult times because of Anamala. So we need some happy outlet for us. Lord himself is an happy zone. So he doesn't experience anything happiness extra or over it. That's what he says. Inbadanai yeiduvarku yeyum. Yeiduvar means one who approaches him. He gives the happiness to the persons who approaches him. He himself is a happy mold. And because of this association, he doesn't enjoy anything. The moksha or the happiness is for the soul to get from him. The Lord confers Ananda on those who reach him. As he is Anandamaya, he does not enjoy himself. As he himself is of happy mood or Ananda, he doesn't enjoy anything out of it. The next one. Tadalai bol koodiyavai தான் நிகழா வெற்று இன்ப கூடலை நீ ஏகம் எனக்கொள். Tadalai means, it's a Tamil grammatical explanation he gives. Tal means actually foot, is feet. Talai is our head. So in Tamil grammar, Tal plus Talai is called as Tadalai, which means 2 words when joining together becomes 1 word, but the 2 words are there. Tal plus Talai is called as Tadalai. So when you say Tadalai, it is 1 word, but 2 words are inside. He says this is how in the moksha soul and God are going to be. Like these 2 words, but showing us 1 word. Tal plus Talai, showing us Tadalai as 1 word. Same way, soul and Lord Shiva, both are going to be there, but only one as 1 material. We are not able to differentiate 2. That's what he says. Tadalai bol koodiyavai தான் நிகழா வெற்று இன்ப கூடலை நீ ஏகம் எனக்கொள். Éகம் means it's only one. Actually, there are 2 materials are there. Lord Shiva is there in the moksha, giving the happiness. Soul is there who enjoys the happiness. So in the occasion, both are there, but the both cannot be differentiated. It is just like one. That's how it is. Like Tal plus Talai, 2 words, but as 1 word Tadalai it is there. Here Lord Shiva and soul both are to be there, but it will be looking as only one. We cannot have it as a difference. That's what James Nelson translates. As the 2 words on composing Tadalai appear as one, so consider your union with the Supreme Bliss as one. So union with the Supreme Bliss, actually it is 2 material. It can be never said that we are becoming Lord Shiva, becoming one. No, it's 2, always 2. But you cannot differentiate. It is the examples in Tamil we give the fragrance in the flower. That's how we say. Because that is a fragrance is separate, flower is separate, but you cannot differentiate it. The taste of a fruit, you cannot separate it. But taste is different, fruit is different. But it is actually mingled in such a way, it cannot be differentiated. The two materials, but giving us one. That is how Tal plus Talai, like that. Soul and the Lord Shiva, both are there, but it cannot be differentiated. Looks like one. That's how it is. He says, next song. ஒன்றானும் ஒன்றாது இரண்டானும் ஓசை எழாது என்றால் ஒன்றன்று இரண்டும் இல். If Lord Shiva and soul are one, then no need of an association again. It is actually the Mayavada or Adi Shankara's principle. They say it is Paramatma, we are Jivatma, which means we have come from them and we are going back to it. He says if both are same, then no need of an association. If both are different, completely different, then they cannot actually associate. Like actually light and darkness, it cannot actually associate. So it cannot be said as one, it cannot be said as two. Then how it should be? Actually it is two, but looking as one. Ondranum ondradu. If it is one, no need of association. Irandanum oseyalal. If it are two, then they cannot actually, two different subjects means they cannot unite. Endral ondrandru irandum il. Ondrandru, it is not one, it is not two. That's what he says. Which means it is actually two, but looking as one. So you cannot say as one, you cannot say as two. That's it. If the Paramatma and Atma are one, then there is no union in moksha. If they are two, no such distinction is perceived in moksha. Therefore, they are neither one nor two. That's the unique nature of this moksha in Saiva Siddhanta. The next song he says, Utrarum petrarum ovar urai oliya patrarum atrar bhavam. He says, in the sixth topic, when Guru gives the Upadesha, first step happens as listening. What it happens to the people who have just listened and what is being told? It is said, the world is a false material. All along we have been thinking that this is the permanent one and trying to build up everything here. The Guruji says, no, this is temporary. This is temporary means then the question is asked, then what is permanent? Your permanent happiness stays when you reach Lord Shiva's feet. So this worldly happiness all are all temporary. This is the Upanyasam he gives. So as soon as the soul when receives it, it has understood, but it cannot firmly grip it because all along we have been with this world. So today you have to just leave the world and means it's not possible. They are all called as patrar. Patrar means those who are not caught Lord Shiva's feet with a grip, they are called patrar. What it happens once we receive, next thing we start thinking, that is in Tamil we call it as listening as ketal. Then what we start thinking, that is sindhita. So once repeatedly think, the Guruji said, when we think, we get some clarity, that's the telidam. So once we get that, we actually, our intention or the prayer becomes some more sincere towards Lord Shiva's feet, and we try to forget this world. So whatever time or whatever it is, we are trying to think of Lord Shiva's feet. They are called Utrar. Utrar means they are actually thinking only Shiva's feet. They are Utru Noki in Tamil, which means their concentration is only towards Shiva. They are now, earlier they was Patra, they have not firmly got it. Now they have started doing their Uttra. Once they start doing that, Lord Shiva is waiting for that time. When the devotee completely devotes his time to the prayer, then he starts actually blessing. That is called the Petra. So the first stage is Patra, which means after listening, not holding it very firm. Then after thinking, we get the clarity, we start gripping it. They are called Uttrar. Once we start gripping it, then he gives the blessing. They call it Petra. So there are three, actually soul in three different forms it's being told. Utrarum, Petrarum, Ovar, Uraivuliya, Patrarum, Atrar Pavam. Atrar means they come out of the birth. Pavam means birth. They come out of it. Atrar Pavam, they cut the birth and come out of it. Those who attain to moksha, and to the samadhi can never be separated from the Supreme. That's the Uttara. Those who have lost their speech have attained to freedom from births. So once our time and our concentration, everything, nittai means, actually the samadhi means just to totally out of world, they just sit like that. Their concentration is not on this world, it's only on Lord Shiva. Once they have come to that stage, the jnanis, once they come to the stage, that's how it is, they achieve moksha. Then God helps in such a way that they don't get back to this world after that. That's how this, they call it as nittai kududal, we call it. Kettal, sindithal, telidal, then the final is nittai kududal. Next song. Pei ஒன்றும் தன்மை பிறக்கும் அளவும் இனி நீ ஒன்றும் செய்யாது நில். See, once Guru gives the Vanyasam and we are trying to improve upon it and trying to catch the grace, he says you simply follow, nothing you have to do. Because whatever you try to do are all actually are all driven from Anavamala. So you have to just keep quiet, he just takes care. So he says an example, Pei ஒன்றும் தன்மை பிறக்கும். Pei means ghost or the devil. If somebody is attacked by devil, this person, whatever actions is, actually the ghost does that. He doesn't know what is happening. He laughs, he cries, he just tears his shirt or he. So it's all the actions of ghost. Like that, you just stay and all the actions all should be from divine grace. You have to nothing. Pei ஒன்றும் தன்மை பிறக்கும். அளவினி நீ ஒன்றும் செய்யாதனில். You do not do anything. Because you just to follow divine blessings, that will take care of. Till you become like a man possessed of the devil, do not perform any actions of your own will. Because whatever actions we try to do, we means actually the Anavamala comes front. So that will spoil this. So it's actually how to leave it everything to divine grace. And however grace actually directs us, like the devil directs this soul, they dance, they sing, they laugh. Same way, now you have to just have no actions from your side. It is all the actions of divine grace. You have to be just, that's what he says. நீ ஒன்றும் செய்யாது. Don't do anything, just to be that. That's how it is. Next song. ஒன்பொருள் கண் உற்றார்க்கு உருவையனை அல்லாது கண்படுப்போர் கைப்பொருள் போல்கான். Once they achieve at that stage, what will happen? Today we are in the world, we are actually doing the prayer. So there are some disciplines left for us, which means you have to do the Anushanam, you have to go to the temple, you should study Tirumurai. Lot of things are there. These are all called the sadhanam, which means to practice to get into that stage. People who have attained that stage, these formalities, one by one, will get rid of them even without they are aware of it. That's what he says. Kanpadupor, Kaipurul Bolkan. Kanpadupor means people who are sleeping. What will happen when we read some books or this thing while sleeping, the book falls down. Without our knowledge, it falls down. Like that, all these rituals are the formalities today for us to learn. For the people who attained that stage, these will automatically fall down one by one. Even they don't know, because that's not required for them. But the important thing is, in Sangarpa Niraharanam, Mahavashi says, that should be automatically done. Never actually these people who are trying to achieve that stage. I have come to this stage, so for me, Anushtanam is not required. For me, going to temple is not required. Like that, they cannot stop it. If they stop it of their own wish, he says actually they have a place in hell. That's what he says. He cautions like that. So what it happens? It automatically, when we come to that stage, It automatically happens. One Borulkan Utrark. One Borulkan means actually by all our concentration only on God. To that stage when it comes, Urubayane Allah, the Kanpadupur, Kaipurul Bolgan, whatever like sleeping, the book falls or the mobile we have, it falls. Like that, automatically it gets detached. And it should be like that only, that we should not live. I have come to this stage. No, I don't want, I don't necessary for me to do. No. We have to. Even at the stage of that, whatever, like the fundamental stages of going to the temple, doing the Anushtanam, studying this Thiruvarutpayan, these are all recorded even at that stage till our conscious is available. Once it's completely lost to Lord Shiva, automatically this one by one, this will go, that is okay. 79th song. மூன்றாய தன்மை அவர் தம்மின் மிக முயங்கி தோன்றாத இன்பம் அது என் சொல். மூன்றாய தன்மை, he says, normally in any action which gives happiness or despair in action, three elements are involved, which means now today, even by this talk, three elements are involved, which means I am giving the lecture, you are listening the lecture, and the lecture part or the lesson is there. So three are there. Same way he says, this called actually, the God gives the happiness. The soul receives the happiness. And the happiness is there. Happiness inside is called jnanam. The person who gets it is called jnada. And the person who gives is called jnayam. So these three are called in Sanskrit. This is called Tiribudi Jnanam. Tiribudi means three. Tiribudi Jnanam. So even anything it happens, you purchase a material, there will be one businessman who gives to you, one man who receives it, and the material which is being received. So three are there. Same way it is applicable at moksha, he says. God is there who gives the happiness. Soul is there which receives the happiness. And the third one is that happiness is there. These three, மூன்றாய தன்மை அவர்தம்மின் மிக முயங்கி தோன்றாத இன்பம் எது. But in moksha, the difference is, you cannot differentiate these three. In the world, all the activities, we can have these three parts as 1, 2, 3. Whereas in moksha, this happens. Lord Shiva gives happiness, soul gets happiness, and happiness is there. All the three are there. But these three cannot be differentiated. It cannot be understood by the soul. The soul will understand only Lord Shiva there, nothing more. That's what he says. Lo, the bliss which results when the relation of jnana, jnaya, and jnana. Jnana, which means there are three, they call it as jnada or jnadiru, which means who gives. Jnanam, that's the material. And jnada, who receives it, are completely lost. All become one. Who can describe it? He says, Inbam Adiyan, which means who can describe? This is how the moksha happens. The last song of this, he says, Inbil inirendal indrundel indrundam anbu nilaye adu. See, the persons who achieve this moksha, it is called as paramukti. That's what in Tamil, or Swaichyam, moksha, or the mukti. There are souls in this world itself. They come attain this stage. They are called Sivan Muttargal, which means till this body, this birth, some more years are left over. They will be living in this world, but they are not like us. They are actually people who got the mukti or the moksha. How they are, how they will behave, what is the difference between them and us? These are all described in the 10th chapter. That's Anaindor Tanmai, the nature of the sanctified or the nature of Jivan Muktar. This is on the last chapter. But here he says, he is just taking a question. Whatever we have spoken about this moksha in the last 9 songs, he raises a question, when we will achieve it. Whether it will be achieved in another 100 births or 200 births, what is that? He says, Inbil Inidendral, Indrundale. Indru means he says, this birth. In this birth, when can we get this moksha? He says, Indru Undam. This is possible. Anbu nilaye. Whether this moksha is possible in this birth, first he asks, and very optimistically he replies, yes, this is possible. This is how in Sivangana Siddhyal also he says, Siddhandatte Sivan Tirukadaikan Serthi Sananam Ondrile, he says. Jananam means birth. Jananam Ondrile. In this birth itself it is possible. What is that he says? Anbu nilaye adu, which means having affection or the love towards all the creatures. Having love towards Lord Shiva, which means no despair, no anger, nothing. Everything is full of love. When we are able to create that, that is how possible in this birth itself. Inbil Inirandal, Indrundel. Indru means actually today, but as per this meaning, it is this birth. So whether it is possible in this birth means Indrundam. Yes, it is possible. Anbililaye. The supreme happiness of moksha one will attain even now if we possess love as love is its very form, undying love. There are some commentators who have written this Indru means today. Now James Nelson says now. But generally many commentators have written as Indru means this birth. Very few have written even today, whether it is possible, it is possible. James Nelson says even now it is possible. The supreme happiness of moksha one will attain even now if he possesses undying love, as love is its very form. That is how it is. About these 10 songs, about this moksha, he says the nature of supreme bliss. The next topic he says about Panjakshara, truth of Panjakshara. That's how the 9th topic. See, generally Panjakshara is a weapon, helps us to attain moksha. So as a sequence, normally, it should have been told before talking about the moksha. But after talking about the moksha, he says, reason being, in Svengana Bodham also it happens like this. Because the reason is, even if after attain moksha, the soul has the duty to think of this Panjakshara even there. After attaining moksha, the soul cannot just relax, yeah, I have achieved. No. Even that's the responsibility for the soul to always think and pray Lord Shiva's feet. That is with the form of the 5 letters, or we call it as Namah Shivaya or Shivaya. That's how it is. So that mantra, what should be, how it should be, what is the difference between Namah Shivaya and Shivaya Nama? And even after Mukti, whether it's going to be Shivaya Nama or something different. That's what he says. Let us just see some 3-4 songs today. The balance will complete tomorrow. First song, 80%. Arul Nolum Aranamum Alladum Aindin Porul Nol Teriyapuhin. Arul Nol means Agamas. Aranam means Vedas. Alladum, apart from these two, which means Pranas, Idigasas, all these books are Aindin Porul Nol. Their main subject or the juice of all this is talks about Panjakshara Teriyapuhin. You should know. That's what he says. Arul Nolum, Aranamum, Alladum, which means Vedas, Agamas. Alladu means even the whatever leftover, like the Puranas, Idigasas, whatever it is, Tirumurais, all Aindin Porul Nol, which means all. That's what Jnanasambandar also says. Vedam Nanginum, Meipurulavad, Nadan Namam, Namashivaya Ve. The Agama and the Veda and other Shastras only explain the truth of Panjakshara. Even in the Vedas, normally 4 Vedas are there, but ignoring other one Veda, people used to say 3 are there, Rik, Yajur and Sama. So the middle is actually Yajur Veda. Yajur Veda has actually 101 parts inside. So in the 51st part, the center point comes the Rudra, where it speaks about Shivaya. So Namishivaya Taracha, that's the mantra it comes. So which means even by all these Vedas, the exact center point comes with Namishivaya. Same thing in the Upper Swamigal Devar, Tirunavukar Swamigal Devaram also, Tirupalai Thurai, which is on the 4th, 5th, 6th are Upper Devaram. After the middle is 5th. 101 Padigams are there. So 51st is central Padigam. 10 songs are there. The 6th song, middle song, he says, Manninar Maravadi Sivaya என்று எண்ணினார் கிடமாயிலில் திருப்பாலை விண்ணை சொல்லி he says, which means Sivaya comes exactly middle. So this is somehow God's grace, it has formed like that. So he says, Arul நூலும் ஆரணமும் அல்லாதும் ஐந்தின் பொருள் நூல் தெரிய புயன். So everything speaks about Panjakshara or 5 letters. What are those 5 letters explaining? He says the 82nd song. இறை, சக்தி, பாசம், எழில் மாயை, ஆவி, உற நிற்கும் ஓங்காரத்துள். இறை, that is Lord Shiva, that is a C. Sakti forms Va. Pasam and Yadil Mayai Avi. Avi is soul, that is the Ya. Pasam, that is Anavamala, that is Ma. And Yadil Mayai or the Thirodana Sakti is Da. So Sivaya Nama comes as a representation of C for Sivam, Va for Sakti, Ya for soul, Na for Mayai or the Thirodana Sakti, and Ma for Malam. He says Avi Uranirkum Omgarathul. We say Om Namishivaya. Om says as a general, and this forms as a special. So Irai Sakti Pasam Yelil Mayai Avi Uranirkum Omgarathul. In this, how it should be described, he says the next. Viriya Ma Na Maybe. Ma Na means Malam and Thirodana Sakti. These two. Maybe. Avai Meelavida. A means, yeah means soul. Meelavida Sitam Periyavinai Thirapperum. Anavamam, he says, the Anavamala actually doesn't allow the soul to go up. It actually pulls down. So when we put C at the front, Sivayanam, like that we try to put Tanamala at the last. That is Sivayanama means Ma goes last. Try to pronounce that again and again. It takes up. So the Anavamala, which has been pulling us so far down, now we cannot pull, we will go up. That's what he says. The self is pulled down by Mala and Maya. And when it gets rid of its Mala, it will attain divine nature. So it is the next song, he says, how it should be pronounced. Whether it should be pronounced as Namishivaya or Sivaya Nama. That's what he says. Malar Throda Malam Mudala Marumo Mela Si Mela Vidin. He says, Malar Throda. Mal means in Tamil it is Mayakam, confusion. The world actually confuses us. Malar Throda Malam. Throda means God's Thirodana Shakti and Anavamala actually confusing us. So when we keep Namashivaya, Nama at the front and say, it may lead to confusions. So the point is we should make Mela C Melavudin. C means Sivayanam. That has to be put. So here there is a small this thing. What should be told? Whether it should be told as Namashivayam or it should be told as Sivayanama means the point is Sivayanama helps us to attain moksha. Namashivaya helps us to achieve whatever we need in this world. So what is required means a question comes, both are required. As long as I am in this world, I need everything. Once I go out of this world, I should get moksha. So both are required. And Shivayanama gives both. So let us take Shivayanama, let us leave Namashivaya means. No, that is not the case because in Tirumurai are all, many areas, Namashivaya is taught. Now I said, Vedam Nangina Maipurula Nadam Namamcha. So Tunai Vedian, in that song he says, Kaltunai Putir Kradul Paichum Natunai Avana Namachivaya. Thiruvasam starts with Namachivaya Valha Nadam Talva. So everywhere it is Namachivaya. So what is mean? The understanding is simple, to make it simple. Let us understand the fact Namah Shivaya helps to achieve all the happiness in this world. It doesn't take us to Lord Shiva, the moksha. Shivaya Nama takes to moksha. So let me take Shivaya Nama means no, because whether we like to have moksha or not, whether we deserve to have moksha is a question. So the simple thing is, people used to say, how the Guruji has given you to pronounce, do that. So if he has given Namah Shivaya, do that. Once when we are deserving enough to achieve moksha, he will give by that time. So let us take Shivaya Nama. So let us start with Namah Shivaya, then we'll go to Shivaya Nama. Because after getting into Mukti, even that Shivaya Nama, we will make it to Shivaya, it will be there. So that's how it is. The 85th song says, Mala Throda Mala Mudala Marmo Mela Si Mela Vidin means without getting C or Shivaya Nama, we will not achieve this. Yes, that's a message. But how it should be done, that is purely with how our Guru has told. Sorry, I missed that 83rd song. Una Nadanam Urubal. Urubala Jnana Nadanam Tan Naduve Nadu. Una Nadanam means that is how actually Lord Nataraja dances. There are three types of dances. First dance is called as Una Nadanam, which helps us to experience all this worldly happiness. Then there is one more Nadanam, which is called a Jnana Nadanam, which gives actually moksha. One more is there called Ananda Nadanam, that is for the souls who have already attained moksha. Now let us leave it. So this he says, Una Nadanam Urubal, which means Na Ma, we keep front. That is one. Ya in the middle, and the next is Sivaya, which means when we say Sivaya Nama, Siva, which means Jnana Nadanam one side, Ya, soul in the middle, Nama is Una Nadanam one side. This is how this Panchakshara is maintained. So the question always comes in how to pronounce whether it should be Namah Shivaya or Shivaya Nama means. Theoretically, we understand Namah Shivaya gives all the worldly requirements. Shivaya Nama takes care of the world as well as gives moksha. So ultimate aim is moksha. So let me take Shivaya Nama means no. Shivaya Nama can be taken only when Guru gives. So Guru will give normal to start with give Namah Shivaya. Practice yourself. Do the sincere prayers. Once you achieve that maturity level and really your thirst for moksha comes up, even ready to leave the world, leave this world happiness, everything, by that time, Guru will give you Shivaya Nama. So this is we can call it as a step-by-step process. So both are important, both are equal and both are great. So with this 85th song, today we are just completing it.